Hello, welcome. In this section, we are going to look at most repeated topics in Bece Civic Education. When you are writing a basic certificate examination, Civic Education particularly, there are topics you need to prepare yourself. There are most repeated topics you see in examinations. Number one, you have to prepare yourself for the first topic you were taught, that is values. Remember, values are principles, standards cherished by a society which determine how people conduct themselves and behave in that society. Remember the levels of manifestations of values. We have individual level, we have societal level. We also have factors that promote good value system, consistency, honesty, and so on. Remember, you have types of values. Honesty, that's being sincere in what you do. Discipline, that is self-control, training your body and so to behave in the right way at all points. Right attitude to work. So you must prepare yourself for values in civic education. Then another topic that is very important you prepare yourself for is constitution. Remember, constitutions are basic. A constitution is a basic or fundamental law by which a country is governed. And we have types of constitutions. We have the rigid constitution, which is a constitution that requires special procedure for it to be amended. We have the flexible constitution, which is a constitution that does not require special procedure to be amended. That is, it is easy to be amended. We have a written constitution. A written constitution is a constitution that its provisions are in one document. We also have the flexible constitution. The flexible constitution is a constitution that, an unwritten constitution. An unwritten constitution is a constitution that its provisions are not in one document. We have a federal constitution, a constitution that shares governmental powers into the governmental powers between the central government and the component unit. And we also have the unitary constitution, a constitution that concentrates governmental powers in one central authority. So you need to know about constitution. Another topic you need to prepare yourself is national consciousness and national unity. Here you look at especially the national symbols. Example, the coat of arms, the elements of the coat of arms, like the eagle, which symbolizes dignity, strength. You look at the horses that symbolize dignity. You look at the white wavy band that symbolizes the two white wavy band, which symbolizes the two rivers in Nigeria, River Niger and River Benue, and their confluence. You look at the black shield, which symbolizes fertility in Nigeria of our soil. You look at the flower, which symbolizes the beauty of our country. So you need to know this. You look at Nigerian flag, what it symbolizes. Look at also the constitution of the country as a symbol. You look at Nigerian currency. You need to also know the denominations we have, know who and who are in each of the currency. You need to study it. You need to also, in our symbols, look at the national anthem, who composed the national, even that flag. You should know about Michael Taiwo Akinkumi that designed the national flag in 1959. And of course, you should know that this flag replaced the Union Jack. So you should know these national symbols, very important. Then you need to look at this topic, that is elections. Remember, election is a democratic process by which people choose their leaders or make decisions by voting. Now, you need to know the types of elections. We have the primary elections, which is an election held within a political party in order to choose its candidate. We have the by-election, election held to fill a vacant seat in the parliament. You have a direct election where people vote by themselves their choice of candidates. You have the indirect election, the election where people vote for a group of people that will vote on their behalf. We have rerun election, an election held when the court nullifies an election as null and void. We also have what we call a general election, an election where all the parts of the country are up for election. So you need to study the types of election, the importance of election, very important. We use it to make decisions, we use it to choose our leaders, it is used to confer legitimacy, that's acceptability in government. But apart from this topic, you also need to prepare yourself for constitutional development in Nigeria. You need to look at, remember when the Northern and Southern Protectorate were amalgamated, that is in 1914. You need to remember the first constitution in Nigeria, that is Clifford Constitution of 1922, which created the Executive Council, the Legislative Council, and introduced for the first time in our country the elective principle. You need to remember the Richard Constitution of 1946 that divided Nigeria into 3 regions. You need to remember McPherson Constitution that gave us a quasi-federalism, gave the regions autonomy, introduced for the first time in the history of Nigeria revenue allocation. Then you need to remember the Littleton Constitution that is known for introducing full-fledged federalism in Nigeria. You need to remember the 1960 Constitution. The 1960 Constitution that declared Nigeria independence. Queen of England was still the head of Nigeria, represented by Governor General. You remember that the Privy Council of the House of Lords remained the highest court of appeal. The Supreme Court does judicial review. You also look at the fact that in that 1960 Constitution, we had a bicameral legislature for the first time, the Senate and House of Representatives. You also look at the next constitution, that is the Republican Constitution of 1963. You need to be abreast with it, where the Queen of England ceased to be the head of state of Nigeria. Rather, it was replaced by the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. We still practice the parliamentary system of government. You need to also arm yourself with the 1989 Constitution that created two-party system, a 1979 Constitution that introduced for the first time presidential system of government. We call it a presidential constitution. You also have to arm yourself with 1989 Constitution that created two-party system. You also have to arm yourself with the 1999 Constitution, which is the current Constitution as amended in 2011. Apart from this, as a civic education student, you need to arm yourself with the heads of state, with people that have ruled Nigeria, especially from independence. Remember, at independence 1960, the head of state of Nigeria was the British monarch, the Queen of England, represented by Governor General. And we had a prime minister, head of government, Tafawa Balewa. After that, in 1963, we had the president as Dr. Nanda Azikiwe. We also had prime minister as as Tafawa Balewa. Then, if you go further, this republic was terminated in 1966 by the first military coup in January 1966, and this ushered Nigeria into military government. And the first military head of state we had in that 1966 was J.T. Aguiyi-Ironsi. He was assassinated in July 1966, and the person that became the head of state, military head of state, was General Yakubu Gowon. He ruled Nigeria for 9 years, and he was removed through a bloodless coup when he was attending AOU meeting in Kampala in Uganda. He was removed and he was ousted, and Murtala Mohammed became the head of state in 1975. Murtala Mohammed was assassinated in 1976 by Bokasuka Dimka, and Obasanjo, who was the second in command of Murtala Mohammed, took over as the head of state of Nigeria. Obasanjo ruled the country and became the first military head of state to hand over to civilian government, which ushered in the Second Republic in 1979. That election in 1979 brought about Alhaji Shehu Shagari as the head of state, the first executive president of Nigeria. And Alhaji Shehu Shagari ruled till 1983. In fact, he won the second election, but on December 31st, 1983, military struck again, which ushered in General Muhammadu Buhari as the military head of state. Buhari ruled till 1985, when he was removed by the military intervention of General Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida. Ibrahim Badamasi ruled, and till 1993, when he did his transition program, through the crisis, following the crisis of the annulment of June 1993 election, he resigned and instituted an interim government headed by Ernest Shanikan in the same 1993. Now, Ernest Shanikan headed the country as interim head of state, and he was expected to organize an election. But in the same 1993, around September, General Sani Abacha removed him and took over the reign of government and ushered Nigeria into military rule again. Abacha ruled till 1998, June 8, 1998, when he died. So immediately he died, then his next in command, General Abu Salami Abubakar, took over. And Abu Salami Abubakar ruled and ushered in Nigeria into civilian government in 1999. The person that became the head of state in 1999, civilian president, is Chief Olusegun Obasanjo. He became the first head of state to serve as both military head and civilian head. He ruled Nigeria from 1999 till 2007. He did 2 tenures. Then from 2007, Umaru Musa Yar'Adua became the head of state of Nigeria and ruled until he died in 2010. His second in command, Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, took over and ruled from 2010, contested 2011 election, won, and ruled from 2011 again to 2015 election, when he lost to Muhammad Buhari, who ruled Nigeria from 2015 to 2023. From 2023, the current president became Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So you need to be abreast with the heads. You must know all the heads of state of Nigeria from the time the year they started and the year they ended. So these are the most repeated topics and must know before you write Bece Civic Education. Thank you for being with me in this section. I wish you good luck in your exams.